Welcome, everybody. It's Colin, and you're watching Talking Ball. Hope everybody is doing well today. Hope you're taking good care of yourself. Happy Tuesday. Long time no see for a lot of you guys. It's been a long time since I've done a show. Very glad to be here and very glad to have everybody watching. I'm joined today by the lovely, the beautiful, the brilliant Adrian. How's it going, buddy?
I'm fine, thank you. Looking forward to getting into the show, but I'm fine.
Absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, in case anybody watching doesn't know where you can catch Adrian, though I'm sure you do, the place to do so is the link right there, everybody. Spurs Diehards TTID on YouTube. And you have a show tonight, is that correct, sir?
Yeah, we're going out at 10 o'clock UK time, which is 2200 BST, with BST is British Summer Time. So, because we know the clocks do vary between us and America at times, and they're not always in sync. So, yeah.
We do like to change our clocks here a lot.
And you're on it, and you're on the show tonight as well as Deji Spurs and James, John Williams' son. Right. They're in our WhatsApp group as well. They're in our WhatsApp group, so they're on tonight. And maybe Tom, but he's busy because he's got a newborn child. So.
Oh, Tom. I'm not sure I've met Tom, so I'm excited to potentially meet him. But yeah, a new child, takes a lot of your attention away from things. So maybe we'll meet Tom tonight, maybe not. But yeah, Adrian, it's good to have you, buddy. It's been a while since we've got to talk. It's been a while since we've got to talk, so I'm really glad to have you on. Looks like we've got some people in the chat already. We got Ryan G's here. What's up, Ryan? How's it going, buddy?
Yeah,
We've also got Daniel. What's up, Daniel? Long time no see, man. Hope you're well. Good to see you. And we've also got Corey in the chat. What's up, Corey? How are you, sir? Hope you're well. Hope you are doing great, man. Glad to have everybody watching. But yeah, everybody, our beloved Spurs. Our beloved Spurs. The transfer market started with a flash, I feel like, this summer. We got Kudus in, and it seemed like they were just going to keep rolling, keep coming in thick and fast. And unfortunately, that is not the way that it's gone so far. Whoa, look at this before we get jumping in. El Tel Cockerell's here. Hope you're doing well, Jose. We were just talking about you. Good things only, of course. But yeah, hope you're well, man. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you. And look at this, Wayne Bonner's here too. They just keep pouring in. Welcome in. Welcome. Morgan Gibbs-White will join soon enough, he says. I hope you're right. And with that, we'll just transition directly into Morgan Gibbs-White news.
Did you post a show in the WhatsApp group?
I did not post a show in the WhatsApp group, but it's okay. They'll find their way here, I bet.
They'll find us, but you might get a few more. I mean,
yeah, that's not a terrible idea.
They work 9 to 5 no more. They work 24/7, so they're on any time during the day.
That's true. I can probably make this happen real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Morgan Gibbs-White, the Morgan Gibbs-White deal. We were talking a bit about it before the show, Adrian and I. First question, I guess I'll ask you, Adrian. Do you reckon that we did anything wrong there? Do you reckon that we've broken any rules or laws? Or
no?
I'm having a hard time making heads or tails of it. I don't think that Daniel Levy would do something like that.
No, I mean,
I like to think that he's...
Well, the player was down to 2 years on his contract. And Forest's been trying to get him to sign a new one. And he refused. And Marinakis was hoping he'd get a deal for Gibbs-White to go to Man City for more money that was and plus get an exchange of James McAtee, which he's still interested in as a replacement. There's also rumours are in for Jacob Ramsey at Villa, which would make sense if one a placement getting one of those to him. I don't think Levy's done anything wrong. I think the information has to come from either the player himself, his agent, but it'll be his agent because his agent's acting for him. It could be, family and friends or third-party associates because it won't be a secret. I mean, it might be whether there's a non-disclosure clause or not. Until it's revealed, we don't know. Even if there is one, there'd still be a selection of people that would know about it. The player wouldn't keep it a secret himself. So, yeah, obviously Marinakis didn't know about it until it exploded in his face. But then logically, look, I've got this. Morgan Gibbs-White is going to be a Spurs player. And Marinakis wouldn't have thrown a strop if Spurs hadn't activated the clause, and he probably didn't know there was a 60 million clause there himself. So he's thrown a strop. He wouldn't throw a strop. He had a hold over the Spurs to do the work. Only rumours like Premier can't stop the player from leaving slavery. Right? Can't withhold the player's registration. Spurs have activated the clause, which is legally binding. The amount's legally binding. The only way you can get more money out of Spurs when this deal does go through and the deal goes through and not all of it is if the rumours.
Hey, Adrian, your sound's being kind of strange. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's something on your end. Let me check here, make sure that it's not me. Yeah, you're cutting out a bit, so I was just making sure. Test it again. Say something there. Let me see if I can hear you.
Does that sound okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You're good, buddy.
Yeah, so I've lost my thread a bit there. Yeah, but the player himself, he's kept it clean, hasn't he? He's not thrown a strop. He did say he wanted it resolved by Monday when the Forest.
Yeah, no transfer request as far as I can tell. You think that had been reported if it had happened yet? So yeah, no transfer request.
And then coincidentally, on that same Monday, his girlfriend has complications with a pregnancy in London, so he stays here on compassionate grounds. Some of us might expect, the cynics among us will expect that, like, oh, is this a lever he's using against the club? And they say, oh, well, he'll fly out later in the week. Well, Harry Kane flew out late with us, went on tour, but he still ended up at Bayern Munich, didn't he? So that doesn't mean a thing if he flies out. Not to me. My others might read into it differently.
I'm torn on the flying out thing, because if we've activated the release clause and it seems like we wouldn't want to risk him going out and getting injured if we've already committed to paying the money for him. But I mean, if they're resisting, accepting the bid or taking our money, then I guess it doesn't really matter, because if he gets injured, then we just wouldn't pay them the money. But it seems a little the Kane thing, because with Kane, I don't feel like we had, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that we had accepted a bid at the time that he had gone out on preseason tours with us. And so I'm not sure, if that's how much of a difference that makes. But you know what I mean? Since a fee has already...
Right, the release calls are release calls. Even if Man City come in and offered 60 mil, Marinakis couldn't force any more money out of them either. But I don't think, I'd be surprised if another club come in, because this has got a little bit messy, right? So I would surprised, and they've brought players in anyway, right? And maybe they were quoted a higher price, and that actually put them off. Otherwise, he might already be a Man City player, right? And I think he's chose Spurs because he thinks he'll know he'll get the game time. We might not at City. So yeah, there's that to it. But the money, they can't raise the price. I've heard all this rubbish in the media, in these low tier medias, that they just want to keep a story going as clickbait, and they want to chew on it from every angle till it's like a worn-out piece of chewing gum. And then we're back to the basics. And if you just look at it logically, the release clause has been activated. That is why Marinakis has gone into a strop. Now, that is legally binding. The amount of money in it's legally binding. Now, there may be a non-disclosure clause, which has got nothing to do with Spurs. That's the agent and the player, or his associates and third parties, that have revealed that. Because obviously, the agent was pumping the player around because he's down to 2 years and knows don't want to stay. So they're not in the wrong there. So this deal will get done. I mean, it might drag on. And for Levy, he'd be smiling, right? Every week it drags on, he saves 150 grand or 200 grand a week. If it dragged on to the end of the window, he would have saved £1 million in wages, right? You know what I mean? So, like...
No, I get what you're saying there, but as a fan, obviously, and it's troubling, because you want players to have as much time with the new manager as possible to get the system down and to start acclimatizing to the new settings and new teammates. I thought this comment here from Ryan G was cool. I saw Forest fans on X saying that Spurs illegally approached the agent. If that's the case, and Spurs did illegally approach the agent, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what that would do. Is that the same as Spurs illegally approaching the player? Is the fact that it's his representatives?
No,
and there's a slight buffer between him and the player. Does that make a difference?
Even if not necessarily agents now, most football clubs are very careful about this. So usually they might have a third party talk to the agent rather than the club itself directly. They use third parties in transfers as well. Sometimes there's teams actually involved in transfers, not just agent versus agent or club versus club. So, yeah. So you can do it through a third party if you wanted to do it. So, look, I mean, we've shown interest, as a lot of other clubs have shown interest in Morgan Gibbs-White for the last season or so, right? So they've shown interest in him. So there would have been third parties. What's he like? Is he happy at the club? You know, does he want to move? And agents are always looking to make a few quid anyway. The longer they move the player on, the more money they make, you know, because they get a percentage of the fee. So, yeah, so there's that. I don't think Spurs, Ryan, I mean, yeah, it's a fair point, but I don't think Spurs have done anything illegal here. That's why Marinakis has thrown such a strop. And he'll know that. How do Spurs find out what the release clause amount is anyway? How? Someone has to tell them. So shows how keen the agent and the player wanted to move. Because for Spurs to find out and to be given the exact amount, right? The player obviously wants to move, and the agent, you know, is doing his job to get the move, knowing he's going to, you know, benefit financially. So, yeah. So Spurs were told, right? They didn't have to ask if there was a release clause. I strongly believe that Spurs were told. They wouldn't have had to ask. You know, and they're like, what's the agent going to do? Deny it? And what's Marinakis going to do to the agent? Right? Apparently he sacked his recruitment team or those involved in a contract for the release clause. That's another rumour. I haven't seen it confirmed, but I don't really care about that anyway, to be honest with you. So, yeah, so to me, this deal will go through. It might drag on for another week. It might drag on while we go away. I mean, on the 31st, we're due to fly out. We play Arsenal on the 31st in Singapore, so we've got Luton Saturday. And then it may well drag on. Any sniff, though, of Forest bringing in a player like a McAtee or a Ramsey, this deal gets done quickly. You know, it might drag on into next week, but other than that, because City will take money for McAtee. He's a good player. I've watched him play for the under-21s, England under-21. He's a good player, and but for them, it's 100% profits that helps them out in their dealings as well. So Ramsey. His stats are good as well. I mean, for a player,
that's a player that we've been looking at, or have supposedly been looking at in the past. So I mean, yeah, Jacob Ramsey's a great player. Well, great's an exaggeration, but he's a very good player at times.
Yeah, the little I've seen of Ramsey when Villa play us when he's playing, or catch a glimpse of him, doesn't do it to me. He isn't no better than Bergvall. He's no better than Bergvall. I think Bergvall's a better player. And will develop into a much better player than Ramsey. Ramsey's a good player, but I don't see us going for that. I mean, we get the links with Ramsey because we got Johan Langer. He was there, right? We got the link with Kudos and Thomas Frank because those two were coaches together at Dingby in Denmark at a club, and then Frank was at Brøndby, wasn't he? So they've known each other before he comes. So there was obviously links there. So any link there is between two parties that Spurs are involved with are going to become a story. So yeah. I don't know any appearances made, Ryan. No, he is a good player, but I mean, he's not like. I'm not going to get excited about him. I'd get excited over Xavi Simons. I'd get excited over Eze. I'm not getting excited over Ramsey. I'll get excited over Morgan Gibbs-White when it's done, because it looks like we're going to have a best transfer window we've ever had, and no doubt we're probably coming.
If the transfers continue, and yeah, you're right, we absolutely will get into further transfers and further players, but I mean, yeah, we'll get into it. I'm almost getting ahead of myself here. I don't want to do that. Nige says, all I know is that this deal is driving me nuts. Right there with you, man. Right there with you.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, whenever we're linked with players, everyone wants the magic wand waved and bang, it's done.
And we all thought it was. We got the Here We Go weeks ago now. So, we thought it was coming directly after the Kudus signing.
The only time deals get done quickly is when none of the club's really interested in a player. You get a left field choice out of the blue, like Kevin Danso has been a blindingly good buy for us, right? And you can strike that deal quick. But just when people say, oh, other clubs do them quicker than us, just hold your horses a second. I'll give you a couple of examples. Man United were in for Cunha on the 1st of June. Now, they must have had talks prior to that, whether that was a few days or a week or maybe longer, we don't know. They actually signed him on the 12th of June, 12 days later. So you could add those 12 days to any talks they had prior to the 1st of June. Take another one of their signings, and Mbeumo. How long has that dragged on? Right now, it's been done for 70 plus mil with add-ons. I don't care about the amount of money. I just like it when they're overcharged. You know what I mean? So, like,
Right.
yeah. I mean, Manchester's white, isn't it? You know, we beat
But I guess
to keep them. Right, go on.
I was gonna say, I guess the frustration probably comes for a lot of people, and for me at least, the fact that, you know, Spurs very rarely will pay up the full release clause for a player. And it's like the time that we're willing to do that, the time that we're willing to pay the release clause, get it done, then all of a sudden there's problems. You know, the owner is dragging their feet, you know, making excuses, claiming, you know, legal, you know, breaches of contract. And it's like, come on, let us just have one. You know, you see other teams swoop in, pay a release clause, get a transfer, you know, get them signed, get it done, get the player in, you know, learning the new system. And with us, it just seems like there's always something that's got to happen. The one time that Levy's like, yeah, sure, we'll pay the release clause, we'll get them in. And then it doesn't, you know, then this happens. So, you know, I get the frustrations for sure. I know that signings take time. I know that, you know, like you were saying, the better a player is, you know, the more competition that you have, the longer things will take. But with this one, by all accounts, it should have been quick, you know, and that's where the frustration comes in for me, at least.
Well, they'd lost Elanga, and they, you know, and then to lose Morgan Gibbs-White, their best player, without bringing in replacements. I don't know if they brought anyone in. I think they may have brought in another obscure signing. I'm not sure. So this still has to be done. There's been no official complaint to the Premier League. There's been no legal. There's just threats. It's just basically threats, which Marinakis apparently has a habit of doing this, getting stroppy. He banned Gary Neville from the ground, didn't he? He ran on the pitch to berate Nuno Espirito Santos in one game. You don't do that if you're an owner, right? You know what I mean? It sends out all the wrong messages, you know. So, yeah. So, and he's had issues with the Premier League over points deductions and things like that as well for Forest. So, he's no stranger to controversy.
For sure. We got Drula in the house. What's up, Drula? How's it going? Drula says, have you seen the Wissa news? So I pulled it up, and it looks like he's left, and she actually has it here. Drula, you're the best. She says that he left the training camp in Portugal, made it clear that wait, he's made it clear he wants Spurs to link back up with Frank, but it's all talk until the player holds up the shirt. That's interesting, because what I read here, 1 second, Adrian, this is interesting stuff. BBC Sport is learning the 28-year-old has returned to London from the Bees training camp. Newcastle, Tottenham, Notts Forest are among those with a firm interest. All three clubs can offer him European football next season, particularly with either Tottenham or Newcastle. Whoa, that's crazy. That's awesome stuff. No, I hadn't heard that at all. That must be like brand new stuff. It definitely wasn't there right before we went live, I don't think. But yeah, Adrian, had you heard anything about this? What do you think about the potential signing?
I thought this had more chance of going to Newcastle and Forest.
So did I. Yeah, I thought that as well. Interesting.
Because it doesn't look like Richarlison wants to leave, and he's got 2 years left on his contract, so he can dig his heels in. I mean, you can make it uncomfortable. Basuma's only got 1 year, but you can make it uncomfortable for players by saying to them, look, you're not going to get much game time. We're not going to add you to the Champions League squad. And if players want World Cup duty, you know, Brazil will be there. I'm not sure if Mali are qualified or not. I don't know for Basuma. But, yeah. Unless Spurs, if he's come back to London, unless the deal's been done for the right sort of a price. Because although this is, 29? Get him up. What's his age? Is he 29 now?
28.
When's his birthday?
that I don't know. Yeah. I can find out. 1 second.
So
it must be
just
soon.
in case, if he's near
September 3rd. So yeah, he's on his way to being 29.
He's 29 by the time the transfer window closes on September the 1st. Yeah. So he's 29. All right. He's not going to have a sell-on valuation, is he? So you're looking at a contract for him, and he's a good player. Max pay for him 30. I wouldn't pay any more. But that's only my opinion. I don't know what you think in the chat. Though he's a good player.
Let us know. Let us know. I have no idea. First of all, I don't know whether or not he can play other positions besides center forward, besides like the number 9. And Adrian, maybe you can answer that for me. Do you know, does he play anything other than just an out-and-out striker? Does he ever play on the wing?
Yeah, he can play. It's like you're a forward. You can play. I mean, even if you're not a winger, you can substitute out there. If you can play through the middle, which is harder, you get more space, less chance of being marked tightly. You know, sometimes you get a chance on the ball. Yeah, I would think that's probably it. They'd accept 30 mil for someone coming at 29. If he goes there, fair enough. I'm not panicking over a striker at Spurs.
Yeah, I just think it would be crazy if he came here. That would definitely signal to me, at least, that maybe Richarlison's out the door. Perhaps that, man, where was the link? Some Brazilian team was offering silly money for him, apparently. Who was that? Palmeiras? I don't know how you pronounce it. But, yeah, that was them from Club World Cup money, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't believe that either.
It was a lot of money being talked about for Richarlison. But, I mean, clearly – there's not a ton of players that they could recruit that they could realistically pull to go play in Brazil. He's gettable from that angle, I would think. You know, he's Brazilian, clearly. His wife's Brazilian, family stuff. I could see it. I could see him going back there. But
if I was bringing a player in, I would go for someone like Evan Gesand at Nice. I'd go for him. But then Lancashire scored at the weekend. We've still got Scarlett there. I don't think we're in any hurry to get a striker in pre-season. I mean, I know you'd like to get him in players, but with Morgan Gibbs-White, if he's a late arrival, it's no big deal. We know what he can do. He's proven in the Premier League. We don't have to throw him in pre-season games. It's not critical that he gets here for pre-season because we know he's a good player. We know what he can bring. Same as if we brought an Eze in or a Walton in. You know, we know what they can do. Same with the centre-back, Guéhi or whatever. And after Vaskovic, actually is pronounced Vashkovic is the proper pronunciation. Vashkovic.
Vashkovic. Okay,
I'm sure you'll talk about him. But, we really don't know what's going to happen in the striker situation. We know that Frank likes Richarlison. I don't think Richarlison's going. I don't think we're bringing in a striker. You've got Sonny can still play there. You've got Odegaard that can play as a 9 as well. Then you've got Lancashire and Scarlett as following behind. We don't know if they'll both be loaned out or not. Maybe Lancashire will go at West Brom with Ryan Mason or with Davies at Birmingham. We really don't know what's happening, and we'll get clues. The next player that's brought in, other than Gibbs-White, we'll get clues as to the direction of travel, but. We don't know, and I don't think striker's urgent. So, and I don't think a centre back's urgent. Now we've farmed out Dorrington back to Aberdeen. We've got 8. So if you include the youngsters, so I don't think a centre back's urgent. We've been linked with Zabarnik, good player, good young Ukrainian player he is.
I've heard good things about him. I don't know anything, to be honest. I've never even seen highlights from him. But I have heard good things from other Spurs channels. Shout out to Spurs Talk Show is where I've heard of him, actually. But, So I agree that without an outgoing, center back isn't a huge priority for me. And again, a striker is only a priority if we could get rid of Richarlison and upgrade. I think if we can upgrade, we absolutely should. And and Kev will agree. Kev G, big up Kev, is in the chat. Says yet again our transfers are turning into shambles.
True.
Said our front line's a mess, and he can't believe Frank thinks it's decent. So
I mean, Basuma, Gill, and Solomon need to go out just to bring some money in. Yeah, and I see centre back and striker. We don't. Is Vashkovic going out on loan or is he staying now? I mean, and the same if Lancashire and that steps up. I mean, if these two players step up in pre-season games, this is why I think if we make a move, it'll be late in the window. After we come back, you know, when Frank's had more time with the squad, we'll have an idea of who actually among the young players who he's keeping. I think Mikey Moore's a certainty to keep because he's 18 in August and he'll get his new contract because he'll get a 5-year with a year's extension probably, or even longer. And then so he will definitely be with the squad. One young player who definitely be with the squad will be Mikey Moore. Donnelly, Devine, Vashkovic you'd be picking from them. Scarlett and Lancashire. Most of those will go on loan. Donnelly might, if Donnelly does something special, he might come in. I mean, and the reason I say that with Donnelly and Devine, who both had a crack at the 10, is because we're not going to see Madison and Kulu are going to miss a large chunk of pre-season with injury. So Donnelly and Devine will be playing again in these pre-season games. You've also got, who wasn't playing, you've got Searle, Odebert and Gray, who were given extended leave because they were in international sides. Gray picked up a winner's medal with the England under-21s and Euros. And then Richarlison was left behind mainly on his fitness levels. They're trying to make sure that they can get a tune out of him and when he doesn't get injuries. If that works, all well and good, you know, because he's a handful. You can't dismiss his shithousery. You know? So those four have got to come back and be given games. But with some players, Frank, he'll know he ain't got to play them because he knows what he gets from them. You know, so.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to say hey to some people in the chat real quick. We've got Peter Kagaias. What's up, Peter? Says it's 1:37 in the morning in Melbourne. Well, good to have you here, man. Hope you are doing well. It's been a long time since we've got to chat, so I'm really glad you're here, man. By the way, everybody, if you're watching, please take a second and hit the like for me. I would truly appreciate that. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And yeah, I'm glad to have you along for the ride, everybody that's here. We got Tommy K. Washed Club is Spuds. Oh, we're washed now, eh? Come on. Kev G says he's just going to call him Luca. I like that. Vushkovic.
Yeah, Vashkovic.
Vashkovic. I'll learn. I'll get it. Ryan G is talking about a young Brazilian striker. Have you heard of this guy that he's talking about, that Ryan's talking about here? Me neither. I was hoping you had. What else we got? Corey Boy is saying Scarlett isn't good enough.
He'd probably go out on loan. He's only 20. He's still only 20, so he might. I mean, him or Lancashire might end up at, I'll say, West Brom, and another coach that managed Birmingham got promoted, Davis. I can see our youngsters going to those two clubs.
Ronnie's saying that Wissa could play left wing.
Yeah.
Is it Wissa or Vissa? Does the W make a V sound? I think it's Wissa. I'm going to say Wissa for now.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's German thing. He's Congolese, isn't he? He's from the Congo.
Yeah.
Like,
so I would assume it's a normal W sound, but what do I know? Wayne's saying that he would drive Vuskovic.
Yeah. You never know. We might be in for him. You don't know. Maybe we'll come in and make a bid. So.
What do you think about this? Wayne says that he would try Vuskovic as a like a defensive midfielder, and I've heard other people say that too. Just with his performance in the friendly the other day, that he could obviously, that he's got something to his game. Maybe perhaps more than a center back would need, and he's good in other areas. What do you think about him?
He can play anywhere across the back, and he scored with his weak left foot. A great goal with his weak left foot. Because he's right-footed, but he plays on the left. And he's a tank. He could play at fullback in a deep line fullback, right? As for the number 6, look, he's coming at a centre-back. We could get a little bit romantic about him solving the number 6 position. He could definitely play there in a progressive 3 at the back. But if he's the furthest forward, I think Romero would get jealous about not being able to go forward himself. So I get it. I mean, look, it's good. He's exciting. In 9 minutes, he gets a goal and assist and clears off the line. I mean, I think he's shown it. I mean, we bought him for 12 mil off Hajduk Split when he was 16 years old. So he goes out to Poland in the Polish league because he's too young to join us till he's 18. Because he joined us, he was 18 in February, which means we couldn't put him in the squad in January to have a look at him. So that was why, because you can't come till they're 18. That's European rules. So he goes to Poland. He didn't need 5 or 6 games to settle in. Straight in there seamlessly. He goes to Westerlo in Belgium with Divine. In seamlessly. I think he smashed 6 or 7 goals in 20 odd games that he played.
Yeah, super highly rated over there too. I mean,
there have been sort of questions about pace. I thought, that's the rumour. He said, I could be quicker. But he's 6'4" at 18. He's still growing.
Yeah, the dude's an absolute monster.
Yeah,
he looks like more of an adult man than I do, and I'm 33. So, I think that we got.
Yeah. What a threat of set plays! What a threat of set plays he's going to be. So, and I mean, when you look at him, he reads the game so well for someone so young to spot danger in that, and he doesn't look slow to me. He doesn't look slow. Now, no doubt. I mean, all young players will make mistakes. He'll have games when it doesn't quite work for him, but I want to see him start against Luton now. But with an experience, with someone like Romero alongside him, someone who's most experienced, or if Romero's rested, even someone like Davies alongside him, someone who's experienced, So, yeah, I mean, he looks the real deal, doesn't he? So he looks like he is the generational talent. I'm going to watch lots of him before. Different levels though. Was only Reading. We
That's
always
true. You've got to keep that into in perspective. But still, I mean, I think that I don't know. I'm excited to see what he can do the rest of preseason. I think that he's earned that at a minimum.
So,
what do you guys think in the chat? Would you keep him around, or would you send him off on loan this season, or is it too early to tell? Let us know in the chat what you think about Vuskovic. Sorry, Adrian, didn't mean to cut you off there, buddy.
No, that's fine, because what gets me here is a good game like that. We always scream there isn't a pathway from the academy to the first team, and then you see links with Guéhi and Zabani at Bournemouth, who've lost 2 of their players anyway. They've lost Kirkes and Hulson was at the centre back, went to Madrid. So now you're getting 60 mil apparently to sell him. He's a good player, but you look at Vuskovic. You've really got to look at Vuskovic and Phillips, because Dorrington's gone back to Aberdeen, and have a look at them and think, right, okay, all right, you're not ready, or one of you's not ready, or the other one's ready, so we don't need to go for Guéhi. We don't need to go for Zabani. So although Guéhi would help us out with our homegrown, because we've only got 7.
That's a good
point.
We
get Morgan Gibbs-White, it's 8, right? This is for the Premier League, right? That's 8. Otherwise, you've got to promote one of the youngsters, and they can't go back down to the B list or whatever. So I wouldn't mind Zabani or Guéhi, to be honest with you. Good players. They would be upgrades, but I also want to see Vuskovic or Phillips given a chance. I want to see Phillips now, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that we've got ourselves 2 really good, capable defenders that have just been.
Oh, they're both mountains.
Yeah.
Even Dorrington's 6'4", and Phillips is 6'4", and only 6'5", I think. So,
I wouldn't want to fight either of them. I don't mind a scrap now and then. I wouldn't fight either of those guys. So.
And I see them at Blackburn. I've seen them play when they're under 21s of playing hours and all that. And he carries the ball forward as well. So we're gonna have, one thing Spurs fans aren't very good at is being patient. But we just have to be patient and see how this pre-season goes. There will be more players. I think we're going to have the best window we've ever had. Because
you heard it here, everybody. Adrian says we're going to have the best window ever. I'm holding you to that, man.
I think. I mean, the signs are that we've got money to spend, which is another topic, and I've got my own theories on that. I actually
interesting.
think
Corey here says that he would have Cootie play at the back with Luka, have Van de Ven play as the missing 6. That's an interesting take, and I guess because of his speed, that makes sense. He could cover a lot of ground. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off again, Adrian. I just thought that was...
No, VDV's played at left back Holland as well. He said it's hard work at left back. This is why I don't get too concerned about overplaying centre backs. They do the least amount of running in a game. I mean, how many of them long bursting runs is VDV going to have a race with some? Not many.
And especially now that we're not playing that insane high line anymore, too. So I think that when you're a fullback now, you're supposed to be able to get up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And like Udogie showed signs he's got his. I know he got better towards the end of the season because he had a poor season. Right, and I'm a big fan, but he had a poor season. But in that first half, he was ploughing down that left, and I thought, this is the Udogie we've seen before, a tank, on the left-hand side. So, yeah. No, we're all right at the back. We're well stocked as we are. If we're going to bring someone in, they need to be an upgrade on what we've got. And let's go ahead. I was going to say, let's go ahead and talk about Guéhi, because I mean that's a player we wanted to talk about today. I think this kind of lets us segue nicely into him. I think that we only get Guéhi if Romero leaves. Would you say that's the only way that he ever comes into Spurs? I think that he would demand a starting position. Yeah. Do you think it's likely? I mean, I don't think, like I said, unless Romero goes, which I don't think is likely at this point. I haven't seen enough about it to think that he's likely going to go. And with that, I'll let you talk for a second. My dog just ran off with one of my expensive work boots. I got to grab that from him real quick. But I will let you continue. Just is Guéhi coming? Is Romero staying? And then I'll be right back with you.
I think we're in for Guéhi to help with our homegrown from last season. That's why we're in. But now that we're in for Morgan Gibbs-White, who's also homegrown, and the fact that Vuskovic did well, I don't think there's an urgency to bring another centre back in. I mean, why the media got the head screwed on? Why aren't we looking for a left back then, if that was the case? Why aren't we looking for another left back? Not someone who converts into a left back, but an actual left back out there. Because we do need it. We know Spence can play there, but his proper position's on the right. And because he's been seen to play better on the left, everybody thinks, keep him on the left. No, keep him where he's stronger. He's stronger on the right. And he can always play on the left at times, or he'll probably end up there, the way we play during games. So let's get a proper left back in. And if it happens to be Dennis Sirkin, who is homegrown from Sunderland, 23, bring him in. I haven't seen links with options that I'm going to go and look videos for. So I don't know if now that Paratici is bands up, I don't know if he's working in the background. I'm expecting left field. So, I mean, look, even under Lang, we brought in Bergvall, we brought in VDV, so if we get Morgan Gibbs-White under him, good. So I don't know. I don't know many left backs out there. I don't know many.
So let me ask you this question real quick. And I know that we're kind of deviating from Guéhi here, but say we are looking at left backs. I know that we had been, I don't know if it actually came from the team or just fans talking on, Reddit or online, but if you had to choose between Sirkin or Kyle Walker-Peters, who are you picking there?
Kyle Walker-Peters has gone to West Ham.
He has?
Yeah, you've never seen a sad-looking face on a guy in a West Ham shirt because he's Spurs through and through. I mean, I think he won the Mini World Cup with Young England years ago because he's 28 now, I think, something like that. And he always, for a right-footed fullback, he always played on the left back then. He played on the right. So now he's at West Ham because he didn't want to go to Turkey.
Yeah, I knew that he had rejected that, or he had drug his feet so long that they had decided not to go with him or whatever. But
I think Besiktas were in for him. There might have been other Turkish clubs in there as well.
Yeah,
so it shows. Good luck to him. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I wouldn't have gone to West Ham, but I get it. You've got to do what you got to do. He's not exactly the most hot commodity right now. So yeah, Marc Guéhi. I mean, I haven't heard much about Romero potentially leaving this summer. I know that there was talk about him maybe going to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah,
but they were not gonna. Yeah, but they didn't want to pay his release or the fee that we were looking for, which is, in excess of 50 million. I think like 70 million was what we were looking for him.
Yeah.
So unless he goes there, I don't think there's been much linking him with any other clubs in Spain. I know that Spain's pretty much, I feel like, the only country that he would leave to go play in. But
there was
other than Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, there was rumors of Real Madrid as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they sort of manifested after PSG spanked them in the final.
Gotcha.
Oh, we need a new defence. You know what it's like out there. I should imagine their press is just as bad as ours. So whether they come in or not, and then you're thinking, well, if Romero's such good pals as we're led to believe with Simeone, that friendship's going to die a death if he went to Real Madrid. So I think he signs a new contract, and I think when he sees players we're bringing in, I think that'll be enough for him to say, yeah, I'll stay where I am, rather than uproot myself. So Atletico Madrid haven't got the money. They'll look somewhere else for someone cheaper, a cheaper option.
I think then if that's the case, I think that we can just take Guéhi out of the equation completely.
Yeah.
I know that everyone in the chat saying that he's destined for Liverpool. Liverpool are interested. It makes more sense for him to go there, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, I was going to say I didn't think Guéhi was likely, and I only thought it would happen if we were to lose Romero, which again I don't think that's likely. So we can pretty much throw that one out, I think, as a
defender. And I think you can correct me in the chat. I think he's now approaching the last year of his contract at Palace.
Oh yeah, he is absolutely. Yep.
Is he? So when you're talking Spurs 70 mil last year offered for him, that's media talk as well. There's no way you're offering 70 mil for a player who's in his last year of his contract. I mean, then at the time, he didn't want to come to Spurs. Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Now he's probably looking for a higher level of European football, which would be with Liverpool. He probably now would come to Spurs, but I know we need to fix the homegrown and bring another one in, but which will be Morgan Gibbs-White. That'll give us the 8. But
I think that was the plan all along. I think that's why we were so happy to trigger his release clause. I think you're 100% right there. Kev is saying that Liverpool definitely needs him. And honestly, if we're being for real right now, I'm going to take off our Tottenham hats for a second. I think that a lot of players, I think there are very few players who would say no to Liverpool right now.
They're buying everyone as well. I mean, they look like they're going to, if they don't win the don't win it next year, only because City's reshaping of their squad has worked, or Arsenal finally solved their attacking problems up front. So, yeah, we'll see. It usually goes down to the round robin games when you're playing your main top 6 rivals. Whoever gets the most points usually gets the lead and hangs on to it. So Liverpool probably could get Guéhi in, which would be a terrific buy for them. He would. He's a very good footballer.
Absolutely, he really is, and it's a shame. I think honestly, I would love to see him at Spurs. I think he would do well here. I think he would improve our defense a lot, but it's just not going to happen if I'm being realistic.
And as good as he is, Vaskovic is technically better.
He's definitely got a lot of promise. I think that he can be as good. I don't think he's as good right now as Guéhi is,
because he hasn't done it in the Premier League. If he can produce that, what he's produced so far, wherever he's been in the Premier League, we've got a superstar on our hands. He's been compared to a Gvardiol, right? Who's really top-rated defender. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, the kid's got it. He's got it all. So, just I have no qualms about him making it. It's just at Premier League level. See if you can do it at Premier League level, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do it. But we all want to see more of him. I've watched lots of videos of him at Westerlo.
Yeah, and as have I, and I was excited for him to come in. I'm glad that he's here. I'm glad that he's getting a chance, and I'm really hoping we keep him around next season. I wanted to ask everybody in the chat, do any of you have terrible dogs? My dog is chewing on everything and anything he can find in my office today. I'm feeding him treats like crazy, just trying to keep his mind off of tearing up everything that I own while I can't get away to stop him. But we move on. Again, I would like to say, if you're here and you're watching, if you haven't already hit the like, please consider doing so. It helps me out, and I really do appreciate it a lot. So with that, let's move on to the next player on my list to talk about today. It's Garnacho. This is a strange one, and I think that I guess it makes sense. It ticks a couple boxes. I know that we've been looking at wingers, players who can play on the left. We're not exactly stacked on the left, and he's out of favor at United. They'd accept a bid for him. It wouldn't have to be an outlandishly high bid. What do you think? I mean, I guess first of all, let's take away whether or not it's likely, and I just want to know: would you take him at Spurs?
No. And he looked good against us when he come on the final. We all thought if he'd come on earlier, Man United might have beaten us. But I looked him up when we got the link, and Justin Cochran, one of our new coaches, he's worked with him. So that's why you get these links, right? When someone's worked with someone, the associated links. And so I went and looked at his stats. Now, I've always been one that I don't know what it's like in modern football, because the goal ratios have dropped for strikers when you expect your front two strikers to get 20 league goals each. It seems to have dropped to about 15 or whatever. But back in the day, a good strike rate for wingers was 1 in 4 considered, which would be 9 or 10 league goals. Garnacho scored 6 or 7 it is in 36 games. He's exciting to look going down, but he flatters to see his end product isn't there yet. He needs to score more goals, as far as I'm concerned. And the last thing we need when we're trying to develop Tell as well, and Mikey Moore, is someone else to come in who needs a bit more developing. I mean, they're saying 40 mil, yeah, because he's probably on massive wages at Man United, So
let's see what wages.
He's not for me. Look, if other fans like him, fair enough. I get it for his way he showed when we've seen glimpses of him and all that. But he's not for me. I'd want someone. If we're bringing someone in the left,
It says that he's only getting like 50. I think he's only getting like 50K a week at United, which is crazy and doesn't really compute with me. That doesn't really add up with just the way they pay their players. But maybe, I mean, that's what everything online is saying. He makes about 50K a week, so that's definitely something we could afford there.
Front three, although wingers will find themselves out wide, they tend to play a bit narrower, so there isn't so much space between the wing and the centre forward on the penalty spot. So you could actually, I'm sure most fans would love this. If you're playing a bit narrower, go and get Eze. Then still go and get Eze, and that's a weird one, because first, to keep people from buying Eze, he's 68 million. You've got to pay all the money up front, even if 8 million's add-ons, right? Like the Morgan Gibbs-White, 60 mil. And then Parish turns around and says, anyone wants Eze, they can pay it in 3 installments of 20 mil. Well, that tells me they want to sell the player. So if they do, why hasn't everyone been in for him? He may have said to Spurs, because he's still with a CAA-based agency. He said he may. Maybe he's an Arsenal fan, don't want to come to Spurs. I don't know. I don't really know. It's. If we're genuinely interested, then I'll raise my interest in him. But I just don't get this one with Eze. And Palace have a habit of hanging on to players too long, and then they become unsellable. They did it with the other winger that went to Man United and come back to him. To get his name.
Elise?
No, the one before.
No.
The one before that. Oh, I forgot his name now.
I'm blanking. Yeah. I'm having a hard time thinking of who you're thinking of, but I'll find it.
Zaha.
Wilfred Zaha, for sure. That's who it is. Right? Winger? I thought for sure that you were talking about Wilfred Zaha, but
my mind.
It's
him.
Palace United. Palace, I think, was kind of where he went. Yeah. That sounds about right. Yeah, he was a great player. I thought he was coming to Spurs for a long time.
And then suddenly the player's contract drops down, and they lost out on a chunk of money because his value's dropped.
Yeah, if Eze doesn't go this summer, I think they're definitely going to lose out on money they could have gotten for him, for sure. Yeah,
I mean,
good point there.
He could go to Liverpool, but they're going to have to get rid of some of their players as well. They're going to have a bloated squad like Chelsea have. So I think there's a lot of clubs struggling now to get rid of players because the European teams are like smashed up with money. I mean, if we're getting rid of players, it's like we're virtually going to have to give them away or pay off their wages or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that Levy might have been onto something when he thought that the bottom was going to fall out of the transfer market. You know, that a lot of these really, really high valued players, you know, that their valuations were going to go down, and that, you know, they weren't going to be worth what they were worth a couple summers ago. Yeah, I think that might be happening. We might be seeing that happening. So yeah, good point. And you're right. I think a lot of teams are going to be stuck with players that they didn't sell last summer, 2 summers ago, that are now going to be worth a lot less. That's a good point.
Well, I think the reason why the European market's still in deflation, because a lot of the European clubs were in debt before COVID hit, and then they've all lost a year and a half of revenue streams, which not just tickets. If you haven't got people in your stadium, you're probably not getting your advertising revenue and your sponsorship revenue, not the amount that you would get. So I think they're still recovering from that. Yeah. So, but it does, stick in my craw when they want to charge us the earth for players, and when they want to buy one of ours, they don't want to pay any money for them. So
yeah, for sure.
I think they take the piss, to be honest with you.
I would agree with that, actually, completely. It's kind of the way things go with us, it seems like. Yeah, I mean, as far as Garnacho goes, I think that a lot is made of players' attitudes and attitude problems. I think that sometimes that's made to be a bigger deal than it actually is. But I don't know. Do you think that Romero and Garnacho, being, countrymen and probably playing on the national team together, and do you think that has anything to do with the links? Do you think that maybe
it could do? And the same with Justin Cochran, who's worked with him before, the coach we've got now. So yeah, it could be to do with that. I mean, fans want another ready, proven left wing if we're going to bring one in, because we've got so many wingers anyway. Odeberg can play on the left, Richarlison can play on the left, Son can play on the left, Mikey Moore can play on the left, right? So, and about probably Solomon could play on the left as well, because he assisted Son with 2 goals and a 5-2 away win at Burnley, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That was a fun game to watch.
Yang Min Hook could play over there, but I mean, I'm confident Solomon will go and Yang Min Hook will get another loan. But there's numbers there. If you're going to bring someone in as a left winger, they need to be proven, So, and as he plays a bit narrow, if you're going to pay 60 odd mil for a left winger, a proven one, well, then go and get Eze. I don't care if he's not that, an out and out left winger. He's more attacking midfielder as far as I'm concerned, but that's still good enough on that side. So go and get in. I mean, I don't know. So he may well turn out. He may hit his straps in a season or 2 and become a world-class player. But we're tired of waiting at this football club for players to develop, and being involved in long-term projects. And we're in the Champions League now. We need to hit the ground running. So,
yeah, I mean, if we want to actually compete,
we need to actually compete. We're interested. I like Xavi Simons, right? And he may well go to Chelsea or favourites or whatever. If he does, he does. But get Gibbs-White in. We've got Decky in that. We've got enough players that can play at the 10. Get Gibbs-White in. Get the defensive midfielder and get the left back. And there's got to be good left backs out there, right? So whether it's Sirkin or not, because he's homegrown, get a left back in. Spend a lot of money. Next, after Gibbs-White, spend a lot of money on a DM. Either go and get Arden Jashawi, the Swiss guy who looks good. There are lots of good defensive midfielders out there. Edison would still be available, I think, even. And then people start questioning, are they this or that? Listen, I want someone who can defend, midfield defender, who can give you more than that, So if you're paying good money. So, yeah, Robinson from Fulham and Tony Robinson. He would be about 40 mil. He's how old is he, Colin? Is he 29? Anthony.
Let me check here.
He's got the experience.
27. He's only 27, so that's even better.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take him.
Oh, you asked me because he was American. I get it now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I honestly don't know enough about the guy. It's kind of embarrassing. But
we've been linked with Paulino, who's 30 virtually. We've been linked with.
I think that a couple of those signings are okay. You know, I know that it's not exactly our way to sign players that are 30 or the wrong side. You know, on their way to 30. But I think that we've got enough young players, and I think our squad's young enough that we can afford a couple players that are 30, almost 30. That don't exactly have a ton of sell-on value because we're able to compete now, you know?
Yeah. Even Joe Gomez at Wolves, Ryan's in the chat, and he probably won't want to lose him. I mean, he would do a job for us. We don't know what Frank wants.
John Brooklyn. What's up, John B. Brooklyn? Glad you're here, brother. Not a name I recognize, so really glad you're here. Hope you subscribe, man. Like to see you in the future. He says, why do you guys think that Eze has not been picked up yet? It's a really good question. I don't think the Palace are the easiest club to deal with from everything I'm seeing. They have made it pretty clear exactly what you need to do to get Eze. So great question. I mean, I don't think that he's even valued higher than – I think that 60 mil is an acceptable amount to pay for a player of Eze's quality. So, yeah, I mean, maybe there's something with his – I don't know. Maybe there's something with his camp, his agents, but you said that he had the same agency as a lot of our current players, right? The CAA base.
Yeah. So, and look, when you do due diligence now, you've got to make sure you don't make the mistake you make with someone like an Ndombele, who turned out who didn't have the right attitude at all.
Well, yeah, but with Eze, we've seen Eze playing in the Premier League for years, though, and doing well and looking to be getting along with his teammates and. You know, he tracks back a fair bit, not a ton. You know, he doesn't play both directions very well. But
last season, because I remember, just to give an example, probably not the right example, when Ward-Prowse was at Southampton. Whenever you used to hear about Ward-Prowse, it's when he scored a free kick. You never used to hear about him any other time. I mean, and now even at West Ham, they let him go out on loan somewhere. He went out on loan, didn't he? So they obviously didn't fancy him.
Super limited player. He's really good on a dead ball, but other than that, yeah, not exactly spectacular.
Eze's a quality footballer. I don't know how consistency he is. I don't know what his stats are. I haven't looked. So
yeah,
I don't know what his stats were. I mean, last season they won the cup, and he scored. So he's looking great, right? But it's a bit like Richard Rios out in the World Club Championship out in America. Many of club have regretted buying a player because they've shown good form in a World Cup, or other competition, and then when they bought them, they've turned out they couldn't maintain it over a season. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out some of Eze's stats. I hate the format of this website. Hold on. ESPN, yuck. But let's see here if we can find. Well,
it'd probably be good.
So it looks like he scored 8 goals in 34 Premier League matches, 8 assists in those same 34 matches.
That's good. That's good stats. Yeah.
Yeah, not bad at all. It's crazy that I think at least 3 of those 8 goals came against Spurs. So that's fun. It's fun for us. God, if you only watching him just as in the games against Tottenham, he's an absolute superstar. He seems to just be able to unlock our defense without even getting into second gear, man. It's hard to watch. But yeah, I mean, it's a good question, John. I'm not really sure why he hasn't been picked up yet. There's got to be something, as you would guess. There's got to be something going on behind the scenes because they've laid it out exactly what they want as for price. He's a good player. He scores goals. He gets assists. So I can't understand why. I can't understand either why he's not been picked up.
It could be the money. How long's he got left on his contract? 2 years, has he? Or what? Has he got his contract details up there?
It's more than a year. No, let me find out.
because clubs will wait. If it's between 60 mil and 40 mil, they're going to wait.
So it expires 2027, June 30th, 2027. So he's got 2 years on his contract now.
Yeah.
Maybe they're waiting for next year when his price will drop significantly. That's a good point.
Yeah. So now I can understand why Parish is saying 320 mil payments, because if Eze don't, all our players that are on 2 years. I mean, you get them to sign a new contract, or you look to sell them. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it's Romero, or whoever, even VDV or whatever. If they're not going to re-sign, you want to sell them while the iron's hot when you can get the most for them, most value. So, if he's down to 2 years and he's not signing a new deal, then I can see why they've changed that to 320 mil payments. But at the same time, I can see clubs waiting a season now.
I can too. I see it. I really do. John reckons it might be his salary demands.
Yeah.
Destiny, big up Destiny, thinks he's going to go late in the window.
Yeah, that could happen as well. That's a good call. He could be a late pickup for someone. I mean, but then you have to bear in mind that our Palace stocked in that position, because the last thing you want to do is sell a player and you can't replace them. So, yeah.
Sure, that's a good point as well.
He's important to them, so
yeah. Well, interesting stuff. You were talking about the left back position. You think that we need to strengthen there. To be honest, I hate this. I don't think it's the way to go. I could definitely see us rolling the dice with who we've got defensively already. I know that we do need a left back, in my opinion.
I don't think the left back's a priority now. I mean, I think the DM's the next priority after we get Gibbs-White. The DM will be the priority. And then, once we got the
probably
DM,
after that.
And then getting rid of Basuma, Gill, Solomon. Sell those three, because they don't look like Richie's going. And if they're working hard on him in training, and that's the reason they left him out of the Reading game, well, that tells you they're keeping him as well, because they're working with the player, trying to get him, different.
Again, I hope that's true. That's what I would say too if I was preparing to sell the guy. I wouldn't let that out. I'd say, oh yeah, we're just getting him ready for the season. But I mean, he could be off. I don't know how much there was in that rumor of him going back to Brazil. That makes the most sense to me if he's going to go anywhere.
Well, you could expect those 4 players to take part against Luton. So
yeah,
they'll probably get the same half each, because he's got to keep looking at them, So you'd expect Richie to get a half against Luton.
Yeah, you would. I hope so too. I mean, it sucks. Richie's a weird one because he's honestly not that bad of a player whenever he's fit. I don't think he contributes maybe as much as some people would like, but I don't know. If you were going to buy a perfect, like a Richie that's fit for every game, what would you think that player would be worth? Like his exact skill level, but fit,
50.
not 50 mil? Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're far off there. He's a good player.
Not 60 mil paid. And if you get him fit and out there, he is a handful. Good in the air in the box. All right, his touch could be better. The only time we see his touch was good when he went for that little spell, didn't he? 5 or 6 games, and he was scoring goals. And other times he couldn't trap a bag of wet cement, right? So I don't know if there's more there. I mean, we haven't seen it. So, I mean, if we sold him, would I cry? No.
Yeah, no, especially not if we get the money that's being talked about. Jeez, I would throw a party.
I think he suits the Frank system, and he can play on the left, and he is a handful. I mean, he will run at players on the left-hand side. And yet, I mean, all the team played well in the final, but he had a good game in the final as well. He really put himself about, didn't he?
That's one thing. He gives it 125% all the time. He's throwing his body in there. I think part of why he gets injured as often as he does is because he's literally putting his body on the line all the time. He's going for 50-50s that a lot of players would pull out of. He's just got no fear, and I think that actually does him a disservice.
Last year, I questioned the medical team and the physio team. I mean, I trained for over 30 years, right? And the first thing you did, now this might have gone on, I might be talking absolute rubbish. The first thing you did when you went in the gym is you went on the exercise bike with no resistance to the pedals at all. And you pedal for 5 minutes. And what you do is you send your blood circulating throughout your system. You warm your core temperature up slightly. So you're warming up, right? All the nutrients get in the right place, your joints and that. And then what I used to do, because I was a weight trainer, right? You went on the leg curl machine. If you know what a leg curl machine, it's like lying face down on a bed and you tuck your heels under a bar at the back and you lift it up and down, lift it up and down, and you feel it in your hamstrings when you do that. Now, there's usually a rack of weights there, right? When you get stronger. But again, you do it without any weights. And when you do that, it warms up your hamstrings, right? So I don't know what they do. I mean, they must have some form of hamstring training. You can do basic, like, martial arts stretching exercises when you put your foot high on a bar, on a wall bar or something, and then lower your body and stretch your hamstrings that way. There must be ways of warming up. And I would question whether they warm up properly. I see them in them videos. I'm watching when they're in the gym. You see them all doing anything, holding a weight on their chest and messing about. Like, fine. But it's like, it's the stretching exercises, right? Warming up properly. You've got a cat, haven't you?
Yeah.
Or two cats, whatever. Right? When they go to sleep or when they wake up, what's the first thing they do?
Stretching. Yeah, for sure.
They
get a big old stretch in there.
They go for a series of stretching exercises, don't they? You know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I might be talking rubbish, but I know there's exercises. Those two exercises I used to do, I'd give them to do. I never had no hamstring problems, right? And I'm talking, I used to deadlift a lot of heavy weights. If everything was going to go, it'd be my back and hamstrings, and like, but they never went. I never had any injuries. Tweaked the back once, I think, for squatting too much, like. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. We're not privy to what goes on. I mean, they just show you all the cosmetic stuff at the stadium. You know, you don't see any set pieces. They're not going to give things away. You know, so and training.
That's true.
You don't see enough in the gym. You know.
Yeah, I know. It'd be really cool to get an actual behind the scenes. You know, they did that documentary, the Amazon documentary. It'd be nice to get one of those that actually gives you some clues as to what goes on. I know they can't do that
on a sheet of paper that told you what they do. You know, something like that.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Absolutely, yeah. But sadly, you know, I don't think that's ever going to happen. They don't want to give away any of the trade secrets. But looks like we might have some new people in right now. If you haven't, consider hitting the like. I'd really appreciate it. Sorry to harp on that. And yeah, Adrian, I don't have a ton of time left, but any other players that you have, I don't know, that you think are likely or that you would like to see come into Spurs this transfer window?
Well, I'd love Xavi Simons. I'd like Eze, but who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? It's easy to pick out the superstars types of the Galacticos, isn't it? I'd like either of those.
I don't know a thing about this Xavi Simons fellow. Not a thing. Except, didn't he play for Barcelona at one time? Yeah. Originally a product of Barcelona.
He's at Leipzig. No, when he at PSG? Is it PSG?
Barca first, it says. He came out of La Masia, and then PSG, and then it says with PSG he won the League One and the Cup, and then in 2022 he returned to the Netherlands, PSV.
Yeah.
There
are rumours that he's, but you get this sometimes with players. There are rumours that he might have attitude problems. If he is, I don't want to go near him with a barge pole. I'm sick and tired of players that ain't got the right attitude, right? If that's the case, we know Dutch players can be difficult to handle. There hasn't been a Dutch manager of a national side who hasn't it to handle, because they are pretty forthright, the Dutch. If they've got something to say, they'll say it, right? So, yeah. So I don't know if it's just that, just part of their nature. But he's a player, and his stats were good last year in the league that he was in. Obviously, we know about Eze. Gibbs-White, yeah, he's going to be a Spurs player.
Can I say something? And this might be sacrilege. This might get me in trouble. But Gibbs-White, while a good player, clearly a good player, he doesn't get me as excited as I think some people are about him. You know, he's not a defensive midfielder, which I think we're crying out for. I think we desperately need. I don't think that he's a big improvement upon. He's not a 10 in the same way that Maddison's a 10. He's not even a 10 in the same way that Kulu is kind of a 10. I don't know, man.
He's better than Conor Gallagher. He's more physical and his energy. He's box to box, and he will bring that midfield a lot of energy to our midfield as well. You know, and he is like an 8 hybrid 10, but he really is box to box. Really gives you a lot of energy in there. So, like, yeah, he's a yes from me. Other DMs, yeah, Paulina, yeah, or I mean, they'll all do a job. Louise would do a job. It's interesting. Arden Jushar is interesting. The Swiss player, he's interesting. João Gomez, I don't upset Ryan in here from Wolves, would take him as well. Look, Edison's still out there. It's like we need to see who that Frank actually wants. Look, he's the professor. He'll have gone through the stats. He'll have been watching these players as well. I mean, this is why Johnson will get a crack. And because he liked him, wanted him, didn't he? He wanted Johnson.
I hadn't heard that, but I'm not surprised. Johnson was pretty highly regarded, you know, by quite a few managers. So yeah, that's not surprising. And I mean, yeah, I'm sure that, you know, Frank is clearly he's got an eye for a good player. He's kind of had to shop around and be intelligent with the players that he has brought in, just because Brentford weren't exactly a rich club. So yeah, I mean, the fact that he's been interested in him for a couple of years bodes well. I think that says good things. But yeah, I mean, he's just not a player that gets me like off my feet excited when I watch highlights, and you know, but again, he's probably just not a flashy kind of player, and that's fine. You know, every player isn't going to be like that, and you know, you need a player that's going to work hard for the team, and I get that. It's just, I don't know, it's just something about it doesn't excite me a ton. But hey, what do I know?
You look at how hard Damsgaard has to work as a number 10 for Brentford. So Maddison's going to have to work a lot harder, as is Johnson. They're both going to have a lot harder. I was sticking up for Johnson last year. I didn't want him at the club, but his finishing, he is a top-class finisher in my opinion. He's not a tapping merchant, but like he's good. But he's going to have to work harder. Now, my theory about last year, a disastrous league form, was that our wingers were told to stay out wide and just hug the touchline. Because as a footballer with any brain, when you got a problem, you get back. You didn't have to sell Harry Kane to come back or not. Even Solanke comes back to help out. So why weren't the wingers doing it? You know, so different in the final. Even he put in a lot more work than normal in the final as well. Yeah, so they're going to have to work. I actually think Maddison's more under threat for Decky in that position, because Decky, you know, you're going to get a shift out of him. Maddison's got more technique. You know, he's quicker. He's quicker feet with the ball, isn't he? You know,
he's a bit of a luxury player. I see what you're saying. You know, he's.
No, I like. No, you keep him.
Yeah, but he doesn't offer as much going both directions as some of these players do, and so I see that for sure. Yeah.
So we'll get a DN. We'll definitely get a defensive midfielder. I don't like the term number 6 at all. I don't like number 6.
I think we might be stuck with Basuma. I really do. If we don't move Basuma on, I don't think we're getting another number 6. I don't think we're getting another defensive midfielder if we can't shift Basuma out of there.
Hasn't he had 3 years to prove himself?
Oh no, I definitely think that he's got it's his time. It's time for him to go. But I don't know if there's a buyer. I don't know if there's a club that's going to come in and offer us the money we want for him.
He said he wants to say Turkish clubs were apparently Juventus were even rumored to be interested in him.
Send him off to Turkey. I think Turkey probably has more money than Italian teams, even Juve right now, but maybe I'm wrong. But with the way that Turkey seems to be buying some players that I think were big names at least a couple years ago, maybe they could afford him. But yeah, it's just I could see him hanging around. I know that he's on pretty decent money here. London's a nice place to live. He's not terrible. He's not god-awful, but I would love to upgrade on him. I'm not sure we're going to be able to this summer, and I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong.
Well, if he stays, he's a lucky man, isn't he, if he stays, because he hasn't done enough. Every time he's like, we've had these players before, haven't we, like Sergio and Sissoko, served us well at times, and then they fall off the pace. They have one good game, and the Spurs fan base fall in love with them again. You know, it isn't good enough. The consistency level is not good enough. You know, if you want to step up, cut the ties. You know what I mean? Cut the umbilical cord, right? Let them go, right? Or if not, pay them up and go, like we did with Matt Doherty, right? Pay him to go, you know, because he's not. He's just look. He's got the skill, and in a less strenuous league, he'd probably do really well. And everybody say, "What did we get rid of him for?" Well, because he couldn't cope with the Premier League, and that's why. That happens to a lot of players that have left us and won things, but they've gone to leagues where you've got no time on the ball in this league. When if anyone, you've only got to be pitch side and see the pace of everything. It's like ping pong and a ping pong machine,
That's the first thing that players talk about, I think, whenever they move to the Premier League from other leagues, is just how fast everything moves, for sure. Yeah. He would definitely be able to. I mean, if Bissouma went to Italy, I think he would do a great job over there. I think that Bissouma's got it in him to be a wonderful player. It's just not nearly consistent enough, and unfortunately, with the level we're trying to play at now, if you're not going to consistently deliver, then you're not good enough. I mean, if we really want to progress and be the team that we all think that Tottenham is or could be, we need to upgrade on Bissouma. I mean, it's clear as day. Are we going to be able to? I'm not sure. Destiny says, give Bissouma to Forest to sweeten the deal for Morgan Gibbs-White. If Bissouma would go, I think that would be a hell of a good idea. I'm not sure about you, but I would absolutely throw him in the deal.
I just want him gone. I'd like Richie gone as well as Solomon and Gill. I mean, get rid of 4. You can't get rid of everyone,
Yeah.
And I was on a show the other day, someone's going on about, we should get rid of him. I said, I replied, I went like, are we keeping the goalposts and corner flags? Like, you know what I mean? I mean, like,
get rid of them too. Get rid of them too.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And Hype says he'd love Bogle from Leeds. I've never heard of this Bogle. Bogle? I don't know, but I've never heard of that fella. And then Sirkin from Sunderland. We were talking about Sirkin earlier. I'll be a totally transparent. I don't think I've ever seen the guy, let alone seen him play. So I know that
we had a buyback clause on Sirkin because he came out of our academy, and he went.
I thought he was kind of highly regarded, but he left for minutes, perhaps, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, he couldn't break into the squad, which is surprising. So and so now we're looking to get him back. I haven't got a clue how much it would cost. It could be anything from like 12, 15 mil to 25. I mean, like, what is the cheapest former player you get nowadays? What do you get? So, yeah, I mean, and
Jose is being kind of he doesn't think that Tottenham's going to make any signings. He says, I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or facetious here or not, or if this is for real. Maybe you can let us know, Jose. Are you fooling us? Are you pulling our leg right now? He says, we ain't signing players. Same Tottenham. Don't believe the hype. The proof has been in the pudding for over 2 decades. So, Jose, do you think we're going to roll into next season with basically the players we've got now? Morgan Gibbs-White perhaps added to the list? I'm interested to know what you think, man. Yeah, I don't know. Drula says, we're interested in Kobe Mainu.
I like this player. I like him.
He's a box-to-box as well, right?
Not that I've seen him play dozens of games, but yeah.
Kind of a box-to-box.
He can beat the press, So we need a defensive midfielder that can beat the press, obviously, that moves the ball quickly, So, yeah.
Daniel says Jose's right. The new Tottenham lasted all of about 24 hours. Yeah, when we got those 2 back-to-back, here we go, is from whatever the hell that dude's name is.
I'll make Daniel laugh. We can still get Vlahovic, Daniel. Daniel thinks I've got a picture of Vlahovic on my bedside table, because
I got one right there. You guys can't see it.
And Fratesi, I'll still take Fratesi if we could get him as well. But they were 2 players I really like. But
honestly, I would take Vlahovic still. I think that it's worth taking a gamble on him. I know that his stock is lower than ever, but why not let him come try? And then we'll be stuck with him for years and years. But Hype says that Bogle plays right back, right mid, and has end product in the final third. Sirkin can also play left center back. Interesting one. Jose says, we're interested, we're watching, monitoring, conditions, and there are more buzzwords which explain Tottenham's non-transfer strategy.
Yeah. I still think we're gonna. I mean, like we've got Kudus, which is a good start, right? It's a good start. So we want more.
Yeah, Kudus is a great player. Kudus is great.
Yeah. I wanted 3 oven ready players in. You know, we got one. You know, if we can
perhaps two with Morgan Gibbs-White.
2 with Morgan Gibbs-White and get the DM. And then it will have been, if it's a quality DM, it will have been the best window we've probably had under Levy. You know, so
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think part of the reason why Frank was brought in was because he can do a good job on a budget. You know, he can overperform with the salary with respect to other teams around them salaries. You know, and I hate that. That's not something any Spurs fan I don't think wants to hear or wants to be the case. But honestly, if you just step back and look at it, I think that's a big reason about why he was appointed. And I could be wrong there. I'd love to be wrong, but I don't think I am. So TTID says the budget. Yeah, I think that's a big reason why he's here is to perform on a budget.
Well, there seems to be strong indication that there's money there that hasn't been declared, and obviously not going to declare any investment during the transfer window. And clubs think you've got loads of money, then like they just bump up the price of the players, don't they? But no, I think the money's there. I actually think there's more than one deal in process now. I think the 20 years
naming rights deal and something else.
Yeah, I definitely think the naming rights deal is close. A 20 years, so at 25 mil, which would give you 500 mil. But you're not going to get that money in one lump. And then that is not a critical deal because that 25 million a year, that just pays the interest on their debt. So you can't depend. So we wouldn't be spending money on a naming rights deal. There's 2 other things that are interesting. You've got the AI shirt deal is due for renewal, and that could be 60 mil a year. Right? So, and obviously there's rumours of investment. So, and actually indication, people were saying like 300 mil Saudi or USA investment as well. So I think there's something in that. There's been talk about that all last season. I think there's more than one deal for bringing money in. I don't mean silly sponsorship deals, you know, but I mean a shirt deal, a new shirt deal, a naming rights deal would be a start. But what you want is that investment deal from Saudi or America, which means that you have got that 300 mil or whatever. And then like, you know, we'll go for it and we'll go for it this window. And it seems to be that is the case, in which case if ENIC are willing to sell it, you know, because you've got Peter Charrington's been brought in now, who was working very closely with Joe Lewis and his daughter Vivian, based in the Bahamas. If he's come onto the ball, Donna Cullen's gone. I mean, she was going to leave last year anyway, so it's no surprise she's gone now. And she was very protective of Daniel. So now I think ENIC have sort of said to Daniel, the pressure's been applied, you know, we're keeping you to keep the business side running smoothly, but we've had all these changes on the football inside academy before Frank come in with 5 coaches. So yeah,
we got that Vinay character in. I don't know anything about him.
He's coming. Cochrane's coming. I mean, I've got all the coaches listed on banners in my group. We probably might even talk about that tonight when you're on tonight with us, aren't you? So like,
nice,
because we're going at 10 o'clock BST, so 2200.
Yeah, everybody. Let me get that link up again. We are wrapping up here, guys. But I hope everybody's had fun. It's been a really fun show for me. I've seen a lot of names in the chat that I am not used to, so it's really nice to have you guys here. I appreciate everybody. And Adrian, I appreciate you, man. It's always a blast chatting with you, especially when we go for a while without having a chat. I think that always makes for a good, makes for a good talk. When we haven't talked for a while, everything's fresh, everything's new. So I appreciate you coming on, man, and giving me some of your time today. Like you were saying, I will be on your lovely channel later on this evening. There's the link down there in the chat, guys. So if you haven't already, head on over to Adrian's channel, Spurs Diehards, TTID. Subscribe there so that you know when they're going live. And I'll be on live with him tonight. Want to let everyone know a little bit about the show tonight?
We're discussing, I want to discuss the youngsters' performances against Reading more than the other players. We know what they can do. discuss the investment, which I believe is coming, which I've half covered here anyway. I've made lots of banners on players like Son going. I've done a few player comparisons, which are interesting. And at the end, if we've got time, I've talked about why haven't we heard nothing from Manchester City's 115 charges. That tribunal's verdict's been known. Why haven't Chelsea been charged yet when Todd Bowley admitted financial irregularities when he came into the club? And especially when we see the punishments which were handed out to Everton and Nottingham Forest. Jose's ribbed me before, said nothing will happen. We'll see. We'll see if he's right or wrong. So I've got enough banners for a good, interesting show. We pride ourselves on making our shows interesting. We don't waffle on and Spurs diets, right? We always bring you facts.
Good stuff. Love it. Gotta love it. Well, guys, awesome. I'm looking forward to it, Adrian. And again, everybody that's been here, thank you so much. Hope everyone has a lovely day. Takes good care of themselves. Be good to yourselves, guys. Truly. And yeah, if you haven't, please slap a like on the video. Consider subscribing if you're not already, so you'll know when we go live next time. And so you can be part of it. And then I wanted to say lastly, but definitely not leastly, I just wanted to ask everybody to please keep Jose El-Tel Cockerell. Please keep him in your thoughts and prayers.
Yeah,
his family. His family is going through some hard times right now with, and everyone just please keep him in your thoughts. And, we're with you, Jose. If you need us, let us know. We got you, my friend. We're here for you. And with that, I think we can end this bad boy. But again, thanks everyone. And I hope everybody has a lovely day. Bye.